The town of Guthrie is said to be Oklahoma's most haunted town. The history reaches back to the days of outlaws and has a strong Native American background. The Stone Line Inn is one of the most recognized haunted locations in the state and attracts ghost hunters from all over the nation. The reported activity and documented evidence had the Stone Line Inn on our to-do list, and now is our chance to experience it for ourselves. We arrived in the afternoon and met with Rebecca Luker, who gave us a tour and discussed the history and haunting.
My name is Rebecca Luker, L-U-K-E-R, and I'm originally from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I bought this house in 1986 and moved over here and with my 2 children and have lived here since then. I'm the 3rd owner in a house that's over 100 years old. The first owners were the Houghtons. They built the house. He came with the land rush of 1889. So anyway, he made it, and he and his first wife got a section of land here, and they built a little house that used to be on the east side of this one. And it was still here when I first bought this house, but it wasn't part of this property at that time. It had been sectioned off. So I started there, and his first wife had 4 children, and she died, and he remarried, and his second wife had 2 more children while they were living next door. In the meantime, he had now had a fortune, a small fortune, a retail fortune. All of his things were in retail. He had the first cotton gin in Oklahoma. He was a founder of Cotton Oil Company. And he had 3 mercantile stores and 8 grocery stores and the first car dealership. So in 1906, they were building the Carnegie Library, and he commissioned the guy who was here building the library to build this house. So it was a well-engineered home, and it cost $11,900. And that was a lot of money then. The average house was being built between $800 and $1,200. So this was 10 times more expensive. They moved in 1907, which was the year of statehood. And then they proceeded to have 6 more children. So they raised 12 children. Actually, the first 4 were pretty well gone by the time this house was built. The first 4 from the first wife. And so it was the younger 8 children that grew up in this house. And all of them survived childhood except for one. And that was this little girl who was born in the year 1900. So when they moved in here in 1907, she contracted whooping cough. And what is believed to have happened is the maid over-medicated her and she died. At the turn of the century, they were using opium and codeine and cough syrups. You know, it's one of those things, you went to the drugstore or you told them what the problem was, they would mix up a concoction of something. And the caregiver, the whooping cough is a horrible, horrible, you know, children cough so hard it breaks their bones, breaks their ribs and stuff. And so it's painful, it's horrible, and apparently the maid over-medicated her and she died. She died of an overdose.
Do you remember what her name was?
I was originally told that her name was Augusta. And so for years we called her Augusta. This little girl shows up as a 0 in 1900, which means that's her birth year. And then she shows up, she doesn't show up at all in the 1910. And I was told her name was Augusta, but later on, ghost hunters said, nope, her name's Irene. You've got the wrong girl. So we've been calling her for the first 13 years or so, Augusta, and then we found out she was Irene. I had a cousin here. I had a family reunion for my family who came from Kentucky and Oregon and Washington and all over the United States. And one of my cousins, who is a doctor, medical doc, she was sleeping downstairs in the parlor room, which I'm now occupying. And in the middle of the night, she got up to go to the bathroom and walked in front of the armoire that had a mirror, 2 big mirrors in it. She saw a man standing in the mirror, facing her and looking at her. And she described him, and she described him to my housekeeper, and it's the exact same description of the man she sees downstairs at the back of the basement. The dining room usually gets used as the command post, so nobody ever experiences much in here until you're gone. And then we hear people in the morning in here.
Oh.
Yeah, but as long as it's a command post, it'll be pretty vacant. Now I'm going to let you go down to the basement by yourself.
Okay.
Michelle has seen Mr. Houghton down there. So this is the Anna Catherine Bennett room. I think I told you about her. I had some kind of an event going on, and I needed to use the bathroom really badly, and I didn't want to use it downstairs for personal reasons, you know. So I ran up here, and I was going to just use this bathroom. And I came in here, and I shut this door like this. And I came in here, and I shut this door about like this, okay? I'm sitting there on the toilet for a minute or so, and I saw somebody. I saw them because I could see them turn their body. I saw somebody come out of this room and go right like this and then pass on and go out the door. Now that door was shut. It never moved. But I saw someone, they had a wool suit on. It was a man. He walked out of there.
Didn't say a word.
Didn't say a word, just moved past me.
Okay. So I don't want to alarm anybody, but earlier we had electronic malfunctions downstairs. I was up here filming some B-roll and my nose started bleeding. Bleeding blood. Don't know why. Maybe I'm sick. Oh, it's weird.
In the 1920s, the Houghtons fell on hard times. The boll weevil struck, and a weevil-resistant strain of cotton had not been developed. And so they were leaking money, they needed to do something, and they had a mercantile store in Enid that was just really doing well. Oil had been discovered outside of Enid. So this family decided, let's take advantage of that. Let's go up there and take care of that mercantile store. But they didn't want to lose this house. They didn't want it to go into disrepair or anything. So they leased it to the Gooch Smith Funeral Home. So this became a mortuary for about 8 years. And the embalming was actually done back in the kitchen. The situation going down to the basement, there's a 2,000 square basement beneath us, which would have been ample room to run a mortuary. But because it was downstairs and the stairs weren't adequate and they didn't want to have to try to make new stairs because that wasn't in their contract, they just did the embalming back in the kitchen. When I bought this house, I'm the third owner in a house that's over 110 years old. And I'm going through this house, it's almost 120 years old, actually. And I'm going through this house with Mrs. Walker, the second owners. And that table was actually back in the kitchen. It was still there. And I didn't know what it was. And I had admired it several times when I'd been in the house before I made the offer on the house. I thought, oh, that is such a gorgeous table. How pretty, you know, and I talked about it. And I'm going through the house with Mrs. Walker. All the furniture's gone. All this furniture came with me from Santa Fe, except for a few pieces, and it's all gone. There's nothing here except that white table that's still in the kitchen. And I said to Mrs. Walker, who was younger than I am now, I said, "Mrs. Walker, aren't you going to take this table?" And she says, "No, sugar, we're downsizing. We don't have room for that table. But you had admired it when you was here. We thought we'd leave it for you. Would you like to have that table?" I would love to have that table. It's so unusual. And she sits back and says, "Yes, it is unusual." Is it a baker's table? I've always wanted a baker's table. I love to bake and I love to cook, and I'm just blithering, you know, all this gushing of stuff about how much I love to cook, and it'll be great having a baker's table. And she said, "Well, sugar, it's yours now. It's whatever you want it to be. It's your baker's table." Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, it was 3 months before I found out it was an embalming table. But you know, when this first started happening, which was like a week after we moved here, we started hearing things. We would hear footsteps coming up to the 3rd floor. That's where we were living, the children and I lived up there, because I needed all the rooms on the 2nd floor and this little room that I'm living in now downstairs. I needed those all for guest rooms to make this work.
So what happens up here?
It's a 3rd floor, and that's where the children and I lived when we first moved here. And this is where we hear that steps?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we would hear, the steps going up, the steps going down. The door would open, the door would close, nobody would be there. Up and down all night long. Oh, the other thing is,
yes,
the Houghtons use this as the children's playroom.
Yeah.
They had at one time a little miniature bowling alley up there, one lane, where they put 2x4s or 2x6s up, and you could roll the ball down the lane, and there would be circles drawn with wooden pins, and they used a wooden ball. Even last weekend, one of my guests said, "Who the hell was on the 3rd floor playing with a heavy ball?" And people hear that all the time. They hear the Houghton children playing with the ball.
So far, I've had a couple of experiences. One of them while we were setting up, on the floor in the hall, just past the stairwell, I felt like something hit me in the back on the shoulder blade. It was something pretty significant. I looked, but there was nothing there. So, we were dropping cables. I wasn't anywhere near the cables, so I don't know what that was. Also, whenever I was going around, turning off the lights, I did see like this little black thing, like go past the door jamb upstairs. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just me seeing stuff out of my peripheral, but something to keep an eye out for later tonight. Also, the nosebleed was a little weird. Not sure why that happened, but sometime before that we did the interview. Well, we were getting audio interference as well as battery drainage on my monitor and on the recorder, or the lapel mics. So
while filming B-roll, the camera audio picked up the sound of a female laughing and another voice. I can't say with certainty that this is paranormal, but it was the only time that these voices were captured.
Alright guys, we are all set up. It is nighttime now. So John, are you ready to investigate?
Yes, I am. I'm ready to do some serious spirit busting.
We have experiments ready for tonight, as well as some trigger objects. And no better time than the present to check out the past.
Yep.
let's go on inside.
Come on, follow us in. God dang it, they locked us out.
So one of the first things I want to do tonight is I'm going to go around with my cell phone. I've got the picture quality adjusted to open the aperture on the camera. And what that's going to do is soak in a bunch of light, and it'll take a long exposure shot. I've got it on a tripod so there's no shaking. And I'm going to go through the house, get some photos. We'll investigate some more. Then later tonight, I'm going to take some more photos, and we'll see if anything comes up in the images. All right, let's check the picture out. So yeah, I don't know what this
shadow.
Yeah, what this coloration is right there.
It looks like the hat.
Yeah, because I can kind of see the shadow here, and I'm wondering if it's actually not the typewriter and stuff over here. Like,
yeah.
No, maybe not. I'm not creating a shadow, but I'm using IR too, and you're shining a light at me, so that eliminates that.
Yeah.
After further review, we found that this IR light was acting as a source and using the post and garland to cast the shadow that we could not identify.
I think maybe John and I will head into this room. We'll do some recording, some audio recording while you're doing the EVP session. John, I'll be taking some pictures. We'll shut that door to eliminate sound, and we'll just do something like that.
Okay.
I'm going to be walking around for a few minutes. I'm actually going to be standing behind you, John.
Okay.
And I'm going to do some more of the
Camera stuff.
camera work.
Okay.
So
anyway, I'm gonna start an EVP session then.
yeah, go ahead and start an EVP session.
Hello, everybody in the house that's still living here. My name is John. That's David behind me taking some photographs. So if you want to be photographed, just come on up and stand over by that other camera that's on the mantle over there that has the red light with the screen where you can see the picture, and he'll take a picture of you. So if there's anyone that lived in this house that are with us today, at this moment tonight, if you can make a noise, like open a door, close the door, knock on the wall or something, that'll let me know that you're here. Fred, you're the father of all the children that lived here, Irene and so forth. Can you come? They say you smoke a pipe.
I just had something touch my elbow. Like it, you know how a feather runs along your arm?
Yeah.
I just felt that right on my elbow. There's nothing here like that. There's a fan here, but keep going.
Okay. Anyway, Fred, if you're with us, I understand you smoke a pipe or a cigar. Can you come and visit us, please? And let us know you're here. We can smell that nice aroma of your pipe or your cigar. Irene, are you with us? You're the little girl that passed away here. Your maid gave you too much medicine and you passed away. They say you play in the house bouncing the ball.
David moving.
And you also touch people while they're sleeping.
People outside. Has to be people outside, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's people outside on their porch.
Dave would like you to touch him Can you go over there and take your small hand and touch his hand or face, whatever you feel like touching, and let him know that you're with us tonight?
Okay.
Anyway,
So we're up here on the 3rd floor. This is where some of the kids have been heard playing up here. Well, Irene has been heard. Well, not heard. So when she lived up here, her kids' toys would get played with up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the baby doll sitting somewhere. I want to put it in front of that camera so it's at least monitored all night. So, the fuck? Something on my neck? The fuck? I'm not gonna touch it. Come here. There's like 13 minutes left on that camera. Not touching it. Hang on, let's switch this out of night vision. Something on my neck. Felt like I got bit or something by a bug or.
right there,
No. It was lower, it was like right in here.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep, you got a little red dot there.
Hmm.
Well, you want to bend over and let the camera look at it? Or
Bend over.
whatever.
I don't know if it'll be visible. Like, is it, or is your light
Hang on.
burning it out? Like, is it showing up on the camera?
That's weird.
Huh.
You got a shitload of little red dots. Like one right there, there.
Anyway, I felt something like
Here, take your flash.
stinging me, or
Anyway,
I just want to make sure.
got a little red mark right there.
I'm touching it now, just so you guys know. I'm touching it now. Okay. The battery's about to die. When it does, we'll kill it. All right, so we have to leave this light on over here for some reason. I don't know why, but we have to.
Yeah.
So just so you guys see better, I'm going to switch this into night vision. You guys can see the room a lot better. If you want to shut that door behind me, shut that. That'd be really cool. Be a neat trick. They call you Augusta? Or is that your name? See, I know a little girl named Irene died, but since this was a mortuary, somebody could have come, another girl could have come through here.
Yeah.
Named Augustus. Or Augusta. Is it Augusta or Augustus? I think it's Augusta.
Augusta.
So if there's a little girl here, we have a doll over here for you to play with. We have this orange box I just set over here. You can light up all the lights on it. It's pretty neat. Won't hurt you. I have a daughter myself. She's younger than you. She likes to play hide and seek and all kinds of games. What kind of games do you like to play?
Hold on to your willies.
Yeah.
All right.
This is John.
David.
I'm gonna set my recorder on this paint can.
Okay. I'm gonna set mine on this tarp thing. Thingamabobber. Mr. Houghton, are you down here? Are you making yourself known to the maid, the housekeeper? Can you come and say hello to us?
Are there any spirits that, when this was a mortuary, they came and fixed your body up and put it in a casket and stuff for viewing, where your relatives could come and look at you? And what the heck was that?
Yeah, I heard that. Let me grab the camera. I'm gonna go check real quick.
Sounded like a door or something.
Yeah. Let's see. You're hearing the footsteps too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go look. I mean,
I hear somebody talking now.
shh. Okay, don't say anything down here at all,
Okay.
because you're gonna come through on the camera. I'm gonna go take a look up there. I hear it. Floor's crackling. Somebody must come out. Somebody up here? Hello? Hello? Once again, there's nobody up here. There was a dog that just barked. Did you hear that down there?
Yeah.
Mr. Houghton? Mr. Walker? Anybody? Can I hear your voice, please? There's a couple steps up there.
I wonder if it's... No, that sounded like weight on the floor. Like weight on the wood.
You could hear the steps.
Which that would be right next to the GoPro.
Yeah.
Stairs end right there. Door, kitchen, entrance. GoPro's right there. So that was next to the GoPro. It's like really light steps. And that's the weird thing about it though. Like, if it was an actual person, how heavy were my steps up there?
You can hear you breathing in. Like I said, the first time those were pretty heavy steps.
Yeah.
These steps here were like kind of real soft.
It was almost like somebody was sneaking around.
Yeah.
Just felt a little air draft come through here. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I felt one over there. Cold.
It wasn't ice cold or nothing like that. It was just moving air, really. About the same temperature as down here. You want to go back up already? You want to go up there and take a look?
Yeah.
Because there's... Oh, I hope that's picking up. I just wanted to see something out of the corner of my eye over here. Go sneak up there. Do you want the camera? Do you want to try to take the camera?
No.
Okay, well, there's a GoPro right there, so. Okay.
Dave,
Yeah.
my radio's already dead.
Dude, it was wild. As you were going up there,
Yeah.
something just like bolted that way. And you could hear it on the floor.
Oh, that was a cat.
No.
Yeah.
So the cat's making the noise then.
Well, it was some cat. I don't think it was the one that was in the basement. She said she had two cats.
One's gray with no tail.
Yeah, that was the one that it shot down the hall.
So we're wrapping up for tonight. It's been pretty stale, but you know, we haven't gone through all the evidence, so we don't know if we've captured anything on our audio. We did have some odd occurrences with footsteps, but we think we may have debunked that. We just have to analyze some of these other pieces of equipment a little bit further, just so we can be sure. But overall, it was a fun night. It was a new place, and we got to check it off our bucket list. So we'll let you know how the review goes, and we'll see what we caught.